Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to learn about the concept of averages. In aptitude, this averages concept is very useful in point of view of placements or for any bank exams or for any MBA entrance exams or for any entrance exam competitive exams. Averages concept is very important and there is a chance of getting at least one or two questions from the topic of averages. So in this video, I will explain you what actually average is and what is the formula that you use to find out the averages of numbers and how do you find the average of consecutive numbers quickly just by looking at the numbers. Okay, so now let's get started with the video. So first, averages is nothing but equal distribution of all the quantities, we can say, right? So I'll explain you with an example and I'll also give you the formula for average. Before giving the formula for average, let us look at an example. Suppose let us take, we have four people, A, B, C and D. Okay, A is having 100 rupees with him or her, and B is having 200 rupees, and at the same time C is having 50 rupees and D is also having 50 rupees. Okay, so now A is having 100, B is having 200, C is having 50 and D is having 50. So average is nothing but when you distribute the entire money, the total money of A, B, C, D equally to four members, what is the share that each person is gonna get? That is what we calculate in average. Okay, the entire money will be shared among all the people. Then what is the amount, what is the minimum amount that each person is gonna get is average. Okay, so how do we do that? First we have to find out what is the total money that four of them togetherly have, right? So 100 plus 200 plus 50 and one more 50. Okay, and divided by, to how many people you are dividing it? You are dividing it to four people, right? So divided by 4, right? See, suppose you're having 10 chocolates with you and you're supposed to distribute these 10 chocolates to 5 children equally. Then how do you distribute? 2, 2, 2, 2 and 2, right? So here we are simply dividing 10 by 5. Total number of chocolates with total number of children we are dividing, right? So this total amount is to be divided to 4 people, right? So that is the reason why we divide with 4. Understood? So now the sum 100 plus 200 is 300 plus 50 350 plus 50 400. So you get 400 divided by 4, which is nothing but simply 100 rupees. So when you distribute this entire money to equally to 4 people, then you're gonna get 100 rupees. So A is gonna get 100, B 100 and C 100 and D is gonna get 100. Right? So this is how you find out the average. In average, you will equally distribute the amount to all the people present in the group. Okay? Now I'll tell you the standard formula that we have for average. Sum of all the observations divided by total number of observations or values. You can say you know this formula very well. We have been studying this formula right from our childhood, right? It's very simple. You have to add all the observations you have and divide it the total sum with the total number of observations. So then you're gonna get the average. Okay, we'll see another example in case of average and then we'll move on to the concept of consecutive numbers and average. Okay, so on example 2 we have, suppose we have a batsman. Okay, batsman, and this batsman has scored a total of 1500 runs, let us suppose, in a total of 30 matches, let us take. Okay, in total of 30 matches he scored 1500 runs. We don't know the individual score of a batsman in all these 30 matches, right? We don't know the individual score. The only thing we know is the total score we know, which is nothing but sum, right? We know the sum of all the scores that are secured by the batsman and we also know the number of matches played by the batsman. So now if you are supposed to find out what is the average score of the batsman in each and every innings, then what you do, you have to simply divide the sum with the total number of matches. Sum is nothing but 1500 and 30 is nothing but total number of matches, right? So 0 0 will go off, and 3 times 1 is 3, and 3 times 5 is 15, and remaining 0, so you get 50. So on each and every match, among 30 matches, in each and every single match, on an average, the batsman scored 50 runs, right? That is what you get after doing the average. Okay, so these are simply, you can say, the applications of average also. And even in case of your class also, suppose you have you have 60 students in your class, and each and every student will be getting a different marks, right? So some will be getting 100 out of 100, some will be getting 90 out of 100, some will just get 50 out of 100, some will just get 30 out of 100, right? So what is the average score? Then what you have to do, you have to add up the scores of all the students in the class and then divide it with the number of students in the class, right? So these are all the applications of average, we can say. Okay, now, so we got to know that the formula of average is equal to sum by total number of quantities, right? Sum by total number of quantities. Suppose you are asked to suppose you're supposed to find out the sum. You're given the average and you're given number of quantities, and then if you have to find out the sum, simply you have to, sum is equal to average into number of quantities. Got it? So this is what you have to do. Okay, and for example, I'll tell you, suppose you have 3 quantities, okay, of 20, 30, and the third quantity is unknown. You have 3 quantities, 1, 2 and 3. The first quantity is known to you, the second quantity is known to you, and the third quantity is not known to you. Let us assume this to be some x. Okay, and what is that? You know that the average of all these 3 things, right, of 20, 30 and the x, you know its average, let us suppose. So let us take the average to be something around 30. Okay, something like 30, let us take average as. So now what is the formula of average? Average is equal to sum by number of quantities, right? But here you know the average, you know the sum, you know the number of quantities, but you don't know what is the sum. So in that case, what you did? Average times number of quantities, right? And so 30 times, what is the number of quantities you have? 3, which will be equal to the sum. So 30 times 3 is 90, right? 90 will be equal to sum. So now you have to find out what is the sum, and the sum will be something around 20 plus 30 plus x, right? You don't know the value of x, so let us keep it as unknown and x, let it be, right? So now 90 is going to be equal to 20 plus 30 plus x. So now x will be equal to 90 minus 50, which is equal to 40, right? So x will be equal to 40, right? So in this case, in this way, you can find out the unknown value also by using the concept of average. Okay, so simply we can say these are the applications of averages, we can say, right? So you got what average is nothing but equally distributing the values, and the formula for average you understood, and you also understood how to find out the sum when average and number of quantities are given, and you also understood how to find out the unknown quantity, right? So these are all the basics related to averages, right? So now let us get into some examples. Consecutive problems examples we will be seeing in this video, I said, right? So what are the different types of problems which are asked based on consecutive integers in your competitive exams? Let us try to understand that. No, not only in competitive exams, even in placements point of view also, let us try to understand them now. So before before explaining how to find out the average of consecutive numbers, I'll first tell you what are consecutive numbers. Let me revise them. So first, numbers which are in the form of x, x plus 1, x plus 2, x plus 3 and so on. That means numbers which will be coming simultaneously with only one difference between them, or with only two difference between them, and the common difference between them are called as consecutive numbers. For example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and so on are called consecutive numbers. 4, 5, 6, 7 and so on are called as consecutive numbers. So there should be a fixed pattern you must be observing, right? So those kind of numbers are called as consecutive numbers. So this is an example of consecutive numbers. And we have consecutive odd numbers and we have consecutive even numbers. So consecutive odd numbers will be in this way: x x plus 1, we can say first number is x plus 1, and the second number can be x plus 3, x plus 5, x plus 7, and so on. Here you don't have x plus 2, x plus 4 terms. These terms you'll not have, okay, because they are odd numbers. Odd numbers means in the sequence of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. What are the odd numbers? 1, 3, 5, right? So you're eliminating the middle even number. So in this way you have to write the generalized form of consecutive odd numbers, which will be nothing but 1, 3, 5, 7, and so on. That means in place of x you're putting 0, and the generalized form of consecutive even numbers will also be in the same way, but the only thing is you have to substitute 1 or 3 or some odd number in place of x in order to get the list of consecutive even numbers. Okay, if you substitute an even number in place of x, suppose here if you substitute an even number in place of x, then you will get the list of consecutive odd numbers. Okay, so the consecutive even numbers can be 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and so on. Okay, so this is the concept of consecutive numbers, consecutive odd numbers, and consecutive even numbers. Done. So now we will try to understand how to find out the average of the numbers just by looking at them in case of consecutive numbers. Okay, your main task in that case is to just identify that the numbers are consecutive. So now let us see. Suppose let us take, for example 1, let us take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let us take 5 numbers and we are supposed to find out the average of these 5 numbers. So you can obviously say that this is a list of consecutive numbers, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they are consecutive numbers, consecutive natural numbers. That's perfect. So in this case, the middle number will be directly equal to average. Okay, so the average will be equal to 3, which is the middle number. Done. You may get it out. In case of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, we are having even numbers, right? Here, even number of numbers we are having here. We are having a total of 6 numbers. In this case, what is the middle number? This is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 positions, right? So generally if you have odd numbers, then the middle one will be directly, but here you have 2 numbers in the middle position, right? You don't have a single number. So the average of these 2 numbers will be equal to the average of the entire list, which is nothing but simply 3.5, right? Or you can say 7 by 2 as well. Okay, so this is how you have to find out the average of consecutive numbers. Blindly you have to go for the middle number. So let us try it for consecutive odd numbers list. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 we have on our list. So what is the middle number we have here? This is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? In case of positions. So this middle one, the third position one, 5 is gonna be the average. Okay. This is how you find out the average of consecutive numbers. Very simple. And in case of 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. In this case, we have even number of positions. So here you have to find out the average of 5 and 7, which is 5 plus 7 divided by 2, 6. Nothing but the number which is between 5 and 7. Okay. So this is very simple how to find out the average of consecutive. So now let us try it for even numbers list. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 let us take, and in this case the middle number is 6, so obviously 6 is gonna be the average directly. And the next set we have, let us take 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. Then in this case the average is gonna be the average of the middle 2 numbers, right? So the middle 2 numbers are, let us give the positions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So the middle 2 numbers are 6 and 8, right? So the average will be obviously equal to 6 plus 8 by 2, which is equal to 14 by 2, which is nothing but 7. So you can directly say the number which is between 6 and 8 is the average. So this is how you have to find out the average of consecutive numbers. Just by looking at the numbers, you can say what is the average. It is very easy, right? It is very time-saving trick. So this is all about the average of consecutive numbers. I hope this video was very much useful for you. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, do subscribe and don't forget to share it with your friends. And the part 2 of averages, in that we will be learning about average speed and how to find out the average speed in case of same distances and different distances, and how do you find out the distance when speed and time are given. All those things we will be learning in the next part 2 of averages. So that's all for this video. If you have understood whatever explained in this video clearly, hit the like button and share it with your friends, and feel free to comment your opinion about the video in the comment section. That means if you're understanding it, or if I have to make any modifications, so that it will be reaching you very well. And also give me suggestions or recommendations about what videos I have to make next, so that they'll be helpful for you. And thank you for watching the video, guys. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel if you have not done yet.